Hello everyone, I'm the okayest bassist, and this is the BASSics Volume 38. This is my little live stream podcast thing, whatever you want to call it, that I do with the new player in mind, as the name of the channel implies, in case you're new for some reason. I'm not a good player, I'm okay. I try to get much better players on here from time to time when they are available to do lessons. And then I try to keep everything geared towards a new player who may have questions that I wish I had had answers to when I was new. Today, I do have a small lesson in mind. However, the first thing I'm going to do is point out that last week I said at the end of the show that we were still at 199 subscribers. I waited a couple extra minutes, refreshed YouTube. It still hadn't shown that we'd hit over 200. I said once we hit 200, I was going to give away a bass. It was about 2 minutes after the last one ended when I refreshed that it showed we were at 201. So thank you to the 2 new subscribers from last week. And I don't know if it'll show that well, but we are at 203 now. So 100% we are giving away a bass. There are 2 options. There is a Sterling Ray 2 in a blue finish with a custom 3D printed thumb rest pick guard that has been upgraded to an EMG HZMM pickup. Also has 3D printed knobs because those look cooler. Everything else on it's the same tuners. I have swapped them out to rounds just because today's lesson is going to make more sense. Also, a few people prefer rounds, so maybe someone who wants this will want it in rounds. The other bass option of a bass to be given away is this Jackson Minion. It is a 28.5-inch ultra short scale. The only thing that's been done to this is I put a Hipshot kick-ass bridge. Everything else on it is stock. This one I did get used. If you saw the review video, you've seen there are some little nicks like around the pickup there. You can see right at the J pickup, right where the ring light is touching. There's a chunk there. This one's definitely not in as good of shape as the Ray 2. But if that is the one you would prefer, if you prefer the Jackson over the Sterling, that is fine. The way this is going to go is that there will be a week's worth of time for people to get entries. If you read the description of the video, it will say the actual comments. So not one person goes in there and spams 50 different comments of I think this video was multiple comments. Legitimate comments, legitimate questions count as an entry. For right now, while the live is happening, any comments that are dropped live will be a single entry. And then once this posts, as soon as the live is over, for the next week, any comment that is dropped there that is a legitimate comment will also count as an entry. I will take all of those, put them together by username in a line. I will use a random number generator, and then that random number generator will pick one of the numbers of how many comments there are, and then whoever is chosen, I will try to find if there's a way to contact you directly through Facebook. I will try to just respond to your comment and reach you that way through a private message. If I can't figure out a way to do that, then I will wait until next week and I will announce who the winner is, and then that person will get a chance to message me. The easiest way is going to be, if you win, I will probably end up messaging you and asking you to reach to me through Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and that'll be the easiest. So feel free to put comments for ideas you'd like to see covered in future videos. Feel free to put comments on what you think of the lesson, if you have any questions, things like that. As, again, the legitimate ones, I will count towards the entry. And then once everything's said and done and the person is chosen, and we've reached to each, and I've reached out to you, and you've reached back to me, and we choose which base you want as the winner. We will see what we can get coordinated about the shipping. I don't know if I'll be able to cover the shipping 100% just because, like, I don't have money coming in from this, and it's a free base. So we will see. We will see what whoever wins, wants to do. Just trying to give all the information out there. So that is how that goes. That's why it says giveaway, because that's what we're doing. If you didn't see last week's episode, that's pretty much what we talked about for it last week. So again, if you have questions, feel free to pop something in there. I don't know of any guests. Let me double check. I don't see anything about any guests coming to join today, so that is okay. Excuse me. I do have a plan for a lesson, which I did say last week. Last week, we covered the reading of tablature with a little bit of sheet music stuff like rests and note lines, things like that for timing put in. And I'd said that another option for being able to play an entire song would be with, if I had a drum roll, this would be building tension, but I don't. So hopefully this is going to load. We are going to cover the main portions of The Game by Motorhead. Is that how I want to do that? I want to do it this way? Nope, don't want to do that because it's cutting stuff off. Okay, so I cut this down. There are 4 main parts to the song. Just like last week, this song, if you notice up here, the tuning it says for the strings is E flat, A flat, D flat, and G flat. Again, this weird little up-snooted B shape is a flat symbol. If you see a pound sign, hashtag, octothorpe, whatever you want to call it, that is going to mean a sharp, which means a half step between them. There's a comment. Tell them about the thing you were telling me this morning about learning to talk. We'll cover that later, if I remember. So what my wife put in a comment just now, if you go to Charles Bertou's YouTube channel, he had an interview with Victor Wooten. And there was a thing that really struck me that Victor Wooten says about music and learning music, that he compares it to language. Apparently he had a TED talk, which I have to find and watch. But he compares music to language and says things to synonymize it. When you are learning to talk, when you have a baby and they're learning to talk, the baby isn't taught the letters of the alphabet and then taught how to put those letters together into words and then how to say those words properly before they're allowed to speak. They start trying to speak. They babble. They might make a word up on their own, or they'll say words that aren't correct, like blankie instead of blanket. And that babies learn communication and that language from, not other babies per se, but from, children, adults, whomever. And that in music, a lot of times you have someone who they want to learn how to play music. So the first thing they're taught is, here's all the notes. Maybe it's on a fretboard. Here's your G sharp, or A flat, A. You come over here, you got C, then you have your C sharp or D flat, you got your D. You move around and they teach all the notes where they are. Maybe then the next thing they do is they teach you a scale. That's like how to spell a word. And then they start putting you into modes. And that's your learning of the proper way of speaking the word that you've learned how to spell, as opposed to just sitting and playing with people. Gets your language more active than any amount of sitting and just learning theory is going to do. I heavily recommend it. It's like a 45 minute video somewhere in there. Half of it was just mind opening to me, and the other half was just good talking of entertainment kind of thing. So I heavily recommend that. Charles Beartoo's YouTube channel. If you found this channel, then you should know who Charles Beartoo is already. But check it out. It was an interview with Victor Wooten. Very cool. So thank you, wife. I guess now you have an entry to win a bass. Point of this was to get rid of one, and she's the only entry now. So right now my wife is going to win a bass if no one else puts comments. So someone else put comments. So for the lesson, it's right here. The camera things. Here we have the tuning: E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat. I've already tuned this bass to that when I changed out the strings. This is, as it says at the top, The Game by Motorhead. We have the tuning. It says intro and then the time. So again, we're talking the time signature. This is how many beats per minute. So this is a 170 beats per minute song. So a bit faster than the one we did last week. You will see that in this one's case, it's still in 4/4 time. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4 for every vertical line, being the bar. But in this one's case, we see something else that's new. We're not going to worry about this little MF down there. That does not mean what MF typically means. This is mezzo forte. It means with energy, basically. We're not getting into that. Above it, the first note you'll see is a 0 on the lowest fret. So 0 on the first string. Sorry, not fret. It's no fretting on the first string. And then it has that long bar connecting it to another 0. That means that the note is longer than 4 beats, which in this case it goes 1 all the way to the next one, and then there's nothing else, which means it goes for a full 8 beats. Then you see the next one, but it has the little line connecting it, but then after that connecting line it has a little line with a dot. That is essentially meaning all but 1 beat of the next fret, and then of course we have a 0 at the end. So the opening of it is really simple. It's just the then we get to the short one at the end, and then it's immediately followed by another 0. That's where they come in with time to play the game. Then Lenny laughs. And then you'll see we have 2 zeros, lines down, connected by a bar. Again, that means that's a 1 and. Then we have another 0 with just a line down. That means it's 2 and. Then we have a rest, and the pattern repeats, and then there's a longer rest. So da-da-da, da-da-da. Again, this is a faster song. So slowing that down, 1 and 2 and. We have the rest for 3 and, then 4 and 5 and. If we were carrying it, of course, it'd be 1 and again. So again, starting just from where it says pre-verse, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and, then a rest. This song is, again, I don't count things in my head when I play music. I'm trying to explain it the way that it's always been explained to me. So hopefully this is not confusing more than it is helpful. But if you listen to the song, again, this is the bass. This is the rhythm. We're in the rhythm section. It's the notes that you're hearing. It's then it goes into the next pre-chorus. This is super simple. You'll see a 1 goes the whole bar. Then a 3 and a 5. They're each have the little line, means each of them are, taking up half of the space. So then it goes back to a 0. Then it does 5, 3. So if I can get my hand in frame here. It's that simple up and then down. That's all there is to that. That is everything all the way through. If you can see it, I'm having a hard time because it's super tiny for me. But you'll see right here, you have a 7. Down here is a 33. Next one down, 39, and then 59. Again, I chopped these up just to move. Um, and those are because it's really only 4 lines that you learn, and then you have the whole song. Like there's nothing on here where Lemmy does like a bass solo. There's nothing like that. It's literally these are the 4 different things that you have to know. There's the da 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 da. What I just did, the little incremental step. You've got half the song's licks right there. A couple of comments. Johnny Dibble, top of the morning to you, sir. I know you're not Irish, and Irish people don't say that. It was just a thing I thought of in my head. Anyway, do you have any professional learning goals for 2025? How are they going? No, because a professional goal would mean that I actually think anywhere near professionally, and I don't. This is just fun. Do I have any goals? I've pretty well finished all of the videos to upload and have ready for this year. If I keep having more ideas, I will record them and then I may accelerate the upload schedule. I doubt I get enough to go every other, like 2 a week. It's possible, but unlikely. I do have, spoiler for next year, I do have a goal of trying to do more, I wouldn't say live playing because it's recorded, but I do have the plan of doing more visual playing videos. One of those actually to come out in 2 weeks from Wednesday. So 3 videos from now, you should see a live playing video. I do want to do better videos. I am slightly limited by the technology I have at my disposal. I do everything from an iPad. Um, the the hope is eventually to upgrade to a full computer like a Mac Mini, um, and then that will give me more options on programs that I can do. It will give me more options on um, how I can do the recordings. I won't have to have the controls built into the iPad being the thing that's setting everything up. Um, I would love to get a better recording dedicated camera, but the phone that I use is perfectly fine for me. I'm not needing 4K or anything like that. So, and I don't need anything with fancy autofocus. I'm fine with my background being visible. So, I don't have any professional learning goals. Um, I do like learning new stuff. The video that comes out on the 13th is one that I said I would do, where I sat and pulled up tabs for a song that I've known, heard of, listened to a lot, but never sat down to learn it. Um, and then I either got super quiet or earbuds stopped working. Well, I still show that I'm on the right microphone. So if anyone else is having trouble hearing me, please let me know. But as far as professional, personal, I read that wrong. You said personal learning goals. Never mind. I should learn to read is what I should do. Personal learning goals, just to keep learning songs or at least licks of songs that I find interesting. Um, I don't have anything specific like a certain song. The video on the 13th of August that will come out is a song I've wanted to learn to play. So I recorded myself trying to learn to play it. And then I think at the 10-minute mark, I was like, it's kind of close enough. So then I just kind of went from there. But as far as other learning goals, one thing I would love is like the different lessons we've talked about the people coming on for, because a lot of those are subjects I want to learn about. But I can't say I want to do like much on gear. I really know what I like on gear, so there's nothing for me to learn there that a lot of new people might want to learn. But what I would like to learn are additional songs. There are techniques that I would like to learn better. We talked about it when we were at Bass House at the beginning of the year, Johnny and I, but slap is something I would like to be able to at least do somewhat. At this point, the best I can do is a horrible rendition of Can't Stop, Won't Stop, and that's about the end of it. So things like that would be cool. Just practicing more varied things would be nice, and then kind of seeing where it goes from there. It's the best I can tell you. I haven't seen. Looks like a few people dropped from viewing, and then we got a bunch back. So I don't know if something happened with my internet and it kicked a bunch of people out. If anyone's having trouble hearing me, my wife was watching and said that it sounded like I got super quiet. I still show that I'm sending signal. I don't see anything on the screen that tells me anything's wrong, so please let me know. So anyway, back to the lesson. So again, the different numbers you're seeing here is the number of the bar at that point. So there are 6 bars across the top line, which is why this one is number 7. We're quite a ways down to get to number 33, then 39, then 59. But again, it's because it's the same thing played a bunch throughout the song, just 4 different licks. So we've covered the opening, which is just the big single note. I don't even count that as part of a section. Then we have that.
I went back on the TV. Your audio definitely cut.
My audio definitely cut, I am being told. Let me try switching that. Okay. Hopefully that helped. I switched from the microphone back to the microphone. It sounds like it's working to me. Anyone watching shows there are 2 people watching, so if anybody can give a thumbs up, a yes, whatever, letting me know if I can be heard. If I can't be heard, that's unfortunate, but I'm planning to continue. So we have those down, and then we covered there where it's pre-chorus, which again is just an open string. And as you can see, since it does that from 33 until 39, and then 39, it goes back to what we had a minute ago, the rests. Then it goes into the second to last of the little licks. So we're talking this line halfway through. So there are 4 bars. We're talking the third bar and the 4th bar. So this is 2 zeros, a 3, a 2. They're all on the number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So 0, 0, 3, 2. Again, trying to get this in frame. That simple. Then the next one, we have a barred double 0 with a 0. So that's the same as what we played earlier. But then, instead of just being a rest, we now have on the 2nd string a 3-2. So the first part was, then we get the double 0, 0. But then we move over a string to that 3-2. Same speed. So when we put that together, play it slowly. And then you repeat that, like it says here, from basically bar 41 until bar 59. So again, doing it slowly. So we're going through it again. That's slowly. I'm not good on time, like how fast that is. The actual song, again, you saw me play it, but the actual song would be. That's lick number 3. Got the big open strings to start the song. Then we have the. Then we got into the 035, 053. That back and forth. Then that last part with the zeros 3 and 2, and then moving over. So that is basically 3 of the 4 licks that comprise the song. I'm going to go back to comments because some came in. My wife's saying that the audio got better, so that's good. Jeffrey Boyle back with all the wonderful emojis. Appreciate you for being here, Mr. Jeffrey. Or person Jeffrey, Mrs. Jeffrey, however you identify. I will be equal opportunity about it. Jeffrey, won't even use any titles. And then Charles here, wonderful. Of course, Charles shows up after I fix my audio. My wife yelled at me first, so I fixed it before you could get here. Dang, I'm late and you are teaching a bass lesson. Yes, last week I taught one, and this week I'm teaching one. I am taking the advice I was so wisely given. You know who you are. That said, I should do little licks of songs or whatever. I decided I would start with simple songs, and this one being Motorhead's The Game, basically only has 4-5-ish parts to it, and then you know the whole song. So we've covered the opening, which is just big hit, long sustain on open string. Now we are down to here, bottom line. So couple of things to note here. We do have the double barred with the double line with bar connecting zeros, and then a 0 after. By now we know that. But then we have a 6. So handy dandy fretboard here. 5, 6. Then we have another 000 with a 6, but on that one, you will notice in line with this number 59, there's a white bar that's wiggly. That means a vibrato. That means wiggle your finger. It's a finger wiggler symbol. So we have 3, we have 5. So we already know that. 0 and then a 0. But then we have a 6. That's what that squiggle line means. Then after that, it hits a 5. Then it does the thing again. So that's it. I'll do it slowly, but that is the last of the parts of the song. So we have the 1, 2, 3, 6. 1, 2, 3 again, 6, wiggly 6. And then when that one's done for its count, which in this case would be, no, I can't quite see the line underneath, but you play that. And then it hits that 5, then back to the zeros. And that's it. So if we put all of those together, not properly in time for the whole song, because I'm not going to sit here for 3 minutes playing the same line if I don't have the drums and guitar and everything else that fills it in. So back to the top, the way the song opens. That's again, time to play the game. Then the guitar starts coming in. Anyway, we get to the pre-chorus, which is a lot later. Then we get our set of 3 zeros again. Again, there's more in between, but it's where it happens. We have a long rest. Then we get to the zeros with the 3 2s, first on the E string. Then we move to the other. Then we get to in the actual song, it ends up going back to the 0 3 5s again. Again, these aren't all in order when they would happen, but the first time. But the last section is the 000 6, 000 6, wiggly to 5. So that is. And there you go. All of those parts put together at the right times this is the right order to start, but some of them get, of course, reused. Doing all that, you can play Motorhead's The Game. Congratulations. I'm sure you'll be able to do it better than I can. Biggest thing on this is the tuning. Again, if you have a 4-string bass, you will need to detune the instrument to the E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, or depending on the tuning device you're using, it may be the D sharp, G sharp, C sharp, and F sharp. I think I did that right. Anyway, you have to have the bass detuned half a step. Otherwise, if you're trying to play along with them, you'll be a half step off and it won't sound good. Trust me, because that's what I did first. If you have a 5-string, then instead you'd be able to go to your 5th string, which would be up here, and then you can simply play 4th fret up to the 1st and 2nd, or 4th fret with 2 and 4, or 4th fret with 5 to 4 with the wigglies and all that. Back to the comments, see what we got. Keck thanks at okayest wife. Sure. She said, I don't know how to but you're welcome. I'm guessing she means you, Charles. Trying to stay out of the comments because she doesn't want to win the base. Yeah, the point was to get rid of a base and give it to somebody hopefully subscribed, and she has a bunch of comments. Charles, I missed last week, got into something and couldn't get away. I'm so glad you're doing lessons. Well, I've done lessons. It's just this time it's on songs. Before it was on just general knowledge, like don't buy crap you can't afford that you don't think you actually want, so that you can then just get rid of it. I learned to play guitar before I got my bass. I have serious issues with not using a pick. I really try, but it always winds up back in my hand. This song reminds me of the Gorillaz song You Always Noodle On. That's the song that I did last week, was Gorillaz Feel Good Inc. And what's funny is I am being tapped. Hello?
Apple my Cowboy 90 old.
Okay. Goodbye. My youngest offspring decided to say something about apples and 5s. I don't know. But anyway, Gorillaz. Hello, Dino. Gorillaz Feel Good Inc. was the one I did last week. And what's really funny is the second half section here, the 0032 and 00 and 32 on the other string, those are the exact same notes for Feel Good Inc., and it is tuned to the same way. So, just a recap of last week, you have, if I can get this to balance again. So, that's Feel Good Inc., same notes as that. I think I mentioned it last week that it's almost the same. So yeah, pretty fun. Let's see what else we got here. Dino Dan says, yo. I say back, yo, to Dino. Okay, so I've just used the at and make the at and then put the first two letters of the person's name. So there you go. My wife learning things about how to communicate. So if you want this, you can screenshot it, I guess, or you can just, I got it through Ultimate Guitar. For now, I pay for their pro thing. I think it expires at the end of this month, and then I might pay again. I think it's $20 a year. I've used it for church quite a bit. It helps with looking up decently well-written music, but also the free ones are usually pretty good. So I'm going to get rid of that. Oh. Well. Okay. I guess I'm gone now. Make image go away? How to make image go remove? Ah, there we go. Hello, I'm back again. I am not sheet music. So that is that. I'm going to go ahead and turn off, unplug all of the funness for the transmitters, for the instrument. I might have gotten a bit louder as I got closer to the microphone. Transmitter off. Kill that signal so it's not buzzing. Hang this up. Boom. So, for those who joined later, like Charles, Dino, and those, the bass I was just playing, or this Jackson Minion right here, they are both up for grabs in the giveaway that I am doing because I hit 200 subscribers. That's about 100 times more than I thought I would have. So I'm wanting to do a bass giveaway, kind of doing the cheat that small channels do early on, trying to get more subs by giving stuff away. Worked for other people, why not for me? So all that it takes is having comments. So as of right now, I see 6 in there for Charles. 3, 4, 5 for my wife. So there's a decent chance she could win. So people should talk to me more. That's really what it means. Putting it simply, the comments that are actual comments, not someone going in and spamming 500 comments just so they get multiple entries. Each actual comment is an entry. All of the ones that are done live, I will take note of how many each person and when they were. I will do that at the point of getting ready to end the stream. And then those will be entries. And then for the next week, the ones that put comments in the video after it's posted, each of those actual comments will get another entry. And then I will pull up a random number generator and say pick a number between 0 and this. And whichever one it lands on, if that is your comment, you win a bass. It is your choice between those two. These two, however the camera will work. These two right there, the Sterling or the Jackson, and whoever wins will get that. I will find out how to contact you, either directly through YouTube if there's a way, maybe just sending you a comment back to your comment. Otherwise, I will announce it next week on BASSics. I will announce who wins anyway. And then find a way to get in touch. Probably just going to have you send me a message through Instagram. And then we will coordinate getting the bass shipped to you. I will see how cheaply I can get the shipping. I will try to cover all of that cost myself, but if you live exceedingly far away or the shipping is exceedingly high, I may have to have some assistance from you for winning the bass. But I don't plan to say, hey, you want a bass, you have to pay all the shipping, because that seems kind of like a crap thing. So, that having been said, I am going to go ahead and grab a note on here of whom is in what position. I'm going to disqualify my wife because that sounds easy. I need. How do I make it have numbers? I need numbers. There we go. So
We're at it now.
my wife is running away. That's probably.
All the children.
So sorry that this part might not be as entertaining, but I don't want to close it if that means I'll lose the list. So I am doing where I won't have that happen. You can still put comments if you want. That's fine. So we have Johnny, Jeffrey, Charles, wife, Charles, Dino, Charles and Charles. Okay, well, Charles, once my wife was eliminated, you've got plenty of entries right there. And then let's see, Grats on 200. I'm going to take my bass apart and try to fix the buzz ground issue. Good luck. Hopefully it is simply a grounding problem that, attaching the wiring and the bridge and all that good stuff solves it. If not, I hope it's not a pickup, because I hate changing pickups, which is why if I ever do, they're to EMGs, because then I don't have to solder anything, because I don't want to solder. I just want to plug things in and they work, which is wonderful. So I have those, unless we have anyone who wants to throw in a comment of a song they think would be fun for me to try to teach. I do have a couple more in mind, basically just taking the things that are from the multi-bass audio videos that I've done that are simple. I might do multiple songs in an episode just because, teaching one lick of one song might not be the most time consuming. And then there is Jeffrey again. It'd be funny if Jeffrey's comment of good luck to Charles is the one that wins, because then he wishes someone else luck and gets the luck himself. That'd be fun and interestingly ironic. So unless anyone has a song they would like me to try to learn myself, because I probably won't know it, Sunshine of Your Love is a good bass song. Well, I will take a note of Sunshine of Your Love and see if that is one that I can figure out, and then I'll try and do one on that for a lesson. Or if anyone has any topics they would like to see covered, not necessarily like a song lesson. I do have people who have said they thought they might be able to do lessons. We've had Bully on, we've had Proper. I'm trying to convince Leah, Low End Lobster, to come on and do one at one point. She said she thought she might be able to, but I never know because she's busy a lot. Floof had said that they might be able to come on at some point to teach about like actual sheet music, like not tabs. I am not very confident in, I can tell you what the letters are, but as far as pure musical notation, I could tell you what you could find on a quick Google search, which, who knows, maybe it's not that bad of a thing if that's how we do it. But if you have topics, feel free to drop those in a comment, because those are always a nice thing to try to cover. And then we will go from there. So let's see, not counting the 10-minute countdown, stream's been going for 45 minutes. So unless we have anything else being dropped in, I will call it there. So for those who were here at the beginning, appreciate you. I'm sorry that the audio got weird. My wife said that it dropped out, but then when I restarted the microphone after changing it off and back on, it seemed to be better according to her. For those who came a little later, happy you got here. Happy you got to experience this. I would say enjoy it, but maybe you didn't enjoy it. We had the one guy who thought I was boring, and he's probably right, but hey, who cares? So, I will end it there. As always, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day.